If someone were to hand you $500,000, what would you do with it?
Pay off my stupid SBA 7A loan. That was one of the most painful things I've ever gone through.
Really?
And I would not go that route again. It's the lender of last resort. So if you don't have to go that route, don't do it.
Wow. Okay, so now this is interesting because then the next one is now in Jetcetera, do you have partners?
No.
Okay, it's just you?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you did go and ask for the money, what pushed you to that point?
It was
basically?
so hard. It was so hard. I thought the build out for the Panda space would be so much cheaper. I had budgeted like $250,000 because we were converting a former pickup sticks, and I was like, how much could it possibly be?
Right.
But Andrew Chung, who's still very heavily involved with the business, he had a different vision for the place. He wanted to flip the entire front counter along. So after all this said and done, it was about $750,000. Yeah. So I was like, I got to come up with a lot more money. And I didn't have time to look for investors or anything at that point. And I just knew about the SBA 7A program through someone who referred me to it. And I said, okay, let's do it. They put a lien on our house. I had to sign over my life insurance policy. You also have to have skin in the game. Just like a mortgage, you have to put down a down payment. So we had to put down about $150,000 that I, took from our savings. So I'm like, I hope this works out, because if it doesn't, I could be homeless.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And interesting, the other real challenge about building in an airport is you have no collateral. You don't own the space in the airport. So
Right.
traditional banks will not lend to you because you have no collateral to put down. So that's why I had to they had to put a lien on my house, and I had to sign over my life insurance policy.
Oh my gosh. Now, can you explain to everybody what an SBA 7A is?
Yeah, it's a small business loan, and it can be anywhere from like 50,000, like micro loan, to even $1 million. I think it even goes even higher, but
Wow.
only asked for what I needed. It's prime plus two. The lender that I went through, prime was at 7%, so we're at 9% interest, which is very high.
Yeah, that's
Very
high,
high.
man.
I mean, so it's and every lender is different. So shop around. Some lenders use T-bill plus two, which is a different rate. I wish I had done all this homework prior, and I wish I had known really what I was bringing to the table. And so do your homework first. Definitely shop around different lenders, and some lenders are really difficult to work with. I happened to get one that was really, really difficult to work with. And I'm a CPA saying this.
Yeah.
So it's a really tough process, and it took a lot longer than I had planned for. So it was really scary, because if you don't have the money, it's going to hold up your construction project, and you're not going to get open. If you don't get open on time and rent's already starting, you're already in the red right out the gate.
Yeah.
So it's very scary. It's very there was a lot of stress and anxiety. I will say, people always ask me, "Oh, how hard was it?" I said the hardest part was that SBA 7A loan process, not the construction, not getting permits, not all that stuff. It was the SBA 7A that was so painful.
During this process, was there ever a time that you thought, okay, I'm going to do something else?
No, I didn't have a choice.
Okay.
I was like so far down the line. It was
Yeah.
too late to turn back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, there's no
You
other
got to do
way.
it.
I got to do
You
it.
got to do it.
Yeah, and you can't have two outstanding SBA loans. So someone else said, "Oh, I can get you one right away, 50,000." And I said, "Wait. I'm still in the process for the other one. I'm not going to take 50 now and forego 500."
Right. Yeah.
Right? So really educate yourself. Really understand what you're obliging yourself to, because you can be like really, I don't want to say, sorry, screwing yourself
Yeah.
if you took the now money for the bigger later money.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that whole idea of the instant gratification only to
Yeah.
have to pay for it way
Yeah.
harder later.
So get money before you need it. Get those lines of credit, get your credit cards, your business credit cards, because that will help hold you over until those loans close.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what are some realities, whether financial or whatever, of the business that you're in that very few people know?
It's just really challenging. The economics of operating an airport, especially now, with the living wage and how expensive things are in the US, are very, very challenging. It's definitely not as lucrative as it used to be. I mean, we're in a high inflationary economy right now. So the numbers, and the restaurant business is known for very, very small margins as it is.
Yeah.
So it's very challenging. So that's why when people come to me, I say, work on your business. If your business is not doing this volume of sales, you're not ready for the airport. As beautiful as it sounds, and the amazing marketing platform that the airport does provide, like, really work on your business. Make sure you're ready, because it's a huge risk otherwise.
Okay, we're going to do rapid fire. You ready?
Okay,
All right.
sure.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a boss or a Broadway star.
Oh, really?
Yes, I wanted to be like Lea Salonga and Miss Saigon.
Oh, my
I do
gosh.
really still love the performing arts, and that's one piece of my life that I would love to bring back.
Do you sing?
I do. I was a choir girl, though. I'm not like a soloist lead. Yeah, that's why it was a dream.
I like. Okay. What always makes you smile?
Oh my gosh, I was talking to my husband about how I was going to answer this. The real answer I was going to say, I'm not going to say, because one of my children might be a little jealous. But great food. I'll say my children make me smile. Okay,
there you go. Nice.
And great food.
Good save. Okay. What do you know now that you wish you knew then?
It's so important to advocate for yourself and your needs, really, and that communication is so important. Like, really, that self-confidence. I had a serious imposter syndrome for a very, very long time. So I know that even that people always say, oh, or they think you have this job because your dad gave it to you, because I work in the family business. And what my husband said, your dad might have opened the door, but you had to walk through it. You had to do the work to get there.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that back then, because it was haunting me for a really long time.
Yeah. I understand that completely. What is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure, so many, but now I'm on GLP-1s, like Ozempic. I used to be like a boba drink or a bag of Funyuns.
Funyuns, really?
Yeah. I'm also like a news junkie, so I love to decompress at the end of the night by watching like The Daily Show or something, something funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, food, always some kind of food thing.
Is there okay, so you're saying boba and Funyuns. Is there any sort of, because you work in food.
Yeah.
But is there any sort of food that you know that no matter what, it's like your go-to? You got to have it.
I have it every week. It's pho. Yeah. And it's just like, it just makes me so, pho, in case you don't know, is Vietnamese noodle soup, beef noodle soup. And it just is like my happy place every week. I go with my husband or with my family, and we just had it last night, and I sit down, and that first bite, I'm just like, oh man, this is my happy place. And now my daughter's learned that too. So we look at each other, we're like, so good.
Oh yeah. I used to live in Kansas when I worked for Hallmark for a while, and I used to live in Kansas, and in Kansas City, Missouri is where Hallmark is based.
Oh, wow.
And two of my buddies and I, without fail, we would make a point of, there was this perfect Vietnamese restaurant. We would have to go there like 2 or 3 times. I mean, yeah. Oh, I totally get it.
After long trips and stuff,
man.
I come home, I'm like, I just want a bowl of pho.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so with you. And then cat or dog?
I've had both. And we just recently put our dog down, and he was like our firstborn. So probably more a dog person now, because my husband's allergic to cats. So yeah.
What kind of dog was it?
He was a Maltese Lhasa Apso. Yeah, we had him for 14 years. And it was the first time I had to really make the decision to put it. I had never had the choice before my mom put our dog down. I know how to say in that. Our other dog was eaten by a coyote, so I didn't have a say in that. So it was really, really sad. But they really, I just heard last night on Instagram this lady saying that the dogs that come into your life were a child from a past life. And I thought that was so interesting.
Wow.
And that how they just look at you adoringly, and you just feel like you have that instant connection. And I thought that was really interesting, and it could possibly be that.
So with Jet Cetera right now, because you do manage these different brands, are you seeking out other brands to come into your family? And when you are, what should people know if they're thinking, I want to approach her?
Yeah, always. I'm always seeking brands. And what I forgot to mention is I have this big portfolio of brands, and what we do is we wait for the airports to tell us what they want.
Okay.
So when the airport says, okay, we're releasing this RFP, request for proposal for a burger concept, I'm like, cool, I have a burger concept in my portfolio. Let's talk. Hey, we've been talking. Now's the time. Like, we're going to move on this bid, right? So always. But I want brands that are established. The airport is not a testing ground for a brand or a concept. I had someone come to, I had this great dessert idea. And I said, okay, do you have and they're like, no, it's just an idea. I'm like, this is not a time to test an idea. So if you have a brand that's established, doing a good volume of sales, close to $1.5 to $2 million a year, let's talk.
Yeah.
And breakfast menu, great. even if you have a product that you want to get in the airport, anything, so like for LAX, for example, that's like Los Angeles, so LA, airports love things like that for their gift shops and their retail spaces, or something like unique. I always go to Expo West to look for
Mhm.
brands and products to carry in my space. And I love, love, love working with minority and women owned brands because I just want to give them this platform to really highlight their brand and showcase what this amazing product or concept is.
Yeah, it's what a great way to also introduce a culture that
Yes.
is this kind of bite-sized experience that
Yes.
you can think about and think, "Oh, I was at LAX and I had this whatever."
Exactly.
I
Like,
had Hopia and I just couldn't believe
mhm.
I had Hopia. Hopia is
Mhm.
like
As much as I love
yeah.
Panda Express, there's more to Asian food than Panda Express.
Yes, there
And there's room
is.
for all of it, just like American food. There's so
Yeah,
many different types of American food. And I really would love to really showcase and highlight all the amazing different types of cuisine that AANHPI, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander cuisine is able to offer.
that's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Which makes a ton of sense, that whole idea of, you've got to be able to, because part of it is also letting go.
Hmm.
When you're working with the book
Hmm.
and the people that you need to maybe bring into your life that will
Yeah.
carry the load for you that you pay. But for those who aren't able to
Hmm.
kind of dip into their pockets or whatever and
Hmm.
pay folks, what advice would you give to help balance that?
Yeah. In the beginning, when you can't afford or you don't have the budget for those things, like in Juno, you said you're just gonna have to let it go. So yeah, that mess in the corner, or like you're gonna have to be really disciplined and for my kids, for example, I can't just ignore my kids. So
Right.
yeah, I was doing the pickup and drop off. I was the Uber driver. I had a laptop desk in my minivan that I would set up my laptop while my daughter was at jujitsu so I could get work done. You have to be super organized, have a Google Calendar, have tasks, have reminders, like all these lists. If you're someone who doesn't usually wake up early and now you have to deal with all this, you have to set alarms. And if you don't wake up to the alarm, you have to set alarms for your alarms. Like, just you have to. Know yourself, what
Hmm.
your capabilities are, what you're good at, what you're not, and then build safeguards in place so you don't have those points of failure. You're going to have to do it yourself for a while. And that's where that discipline and organization really, really comes in until you can afford to outsource it.
Yeah. What I also love about what you said was you have to let it go.
Yeah.
That whole thing that, we as moms,
Oh, 1000%.
we feel like we do have to do everything, and if we're not able to pick up all the toys and put them all away and do all of this
Yeah.
and do all of that, that we are failing miserably.
Yeah.
And, do we even deserve to start our own business, or do we we do
No.
question ourselves, but
Yeah.
help that's a really helpful thing, and also that organizational thing,
Mhm.
which now what's interesting and that could be really cool as well is reaching out to those friends that are really good with organizing,
Mhm.
like is that something that you also think is great? Like, making
Yeah.
sure that you have that great, not only partner, but
Mhm.
that great support system.
Yeah. So, the book's called It Takes a Village. And
Mhm.
another thing is you have to be a village
Yeah.
too. And we're in this world right now where we just do Instacart or Grubhub. We don't rely on our village. And so we don't provide a village to other people.
Mhm.
And so we're all like in our own little silos. It may be something that came out of the pandemic. So we're just in a really weird space in our life. And women are expected to work like they don't have kids
Yeah.
and have kids like they don't work.
Mhm.
Right. So little last minute things that children are notorious for. Oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. Mommy, I have to bring fresh baked cookies to school tomorrow. I'm like, what? Like, no, we're going to go to the store and we're going to buy a pack of cookies, or we're going to go in the pantry. Like, I'm not going to bake fresh baked cookies. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And under social media, all this, people only post their perfection on
Yeah.
social media. They're not posting their failures. I mean,
Yeah.
for the most part. Right. So you don't put that pressure on yourself to live by other people's ideals of how we should be. As long as you're okay with where you're at, you got to be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that mom that makes organic, fresh baked, gluten free, sugar free, calorie free cookies. That's just not who I am. And I'm okay with it. But my kid will get the cookies or whatever that they need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Or I
excellent.
might Instacart them. And yeah,
Yeah.
they got here,
Yeah.
because you told me last minute.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, been there, done that for sure.
Yeah, we're just in a different generation now than even our parents grew up
Yeah.
in. I think my I didn't grow up with a great mother. She was actually pretty awful.
Mm.
And she didn't feel any guilt over it. Because she also didn't have social media in front of her telling her why she should feel guilty about not being this perfect mom.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more pressure on us nowadays.
Yes, there's and then new pressures are showing up.
Oh yeah.
Like where it used to be you need to be able to work and do everything. Now there's
Yeah.
this whole thing of why are you working? Why aren't you trying?
Oh,
That's a
exactly.
whole other
And
conversation.
and then also we're in a sandwich generation where I'm parenting my young kids, I'm parenting my aging parents,
Yeah.
and my career is at its peak. So there's a lot of pressure from every direction. So if you can give yourself grace to take some of that pressure off yourself and don't feel like you have to be this whatever other people think you should be, you will have a lot more peace in your life.